The global adrenochrome industry isn't a market. It's a mechanized slaughter line, built by psychopaths, engineered to grind through innocent children and spit out whatever's left. And now, a Kremlin intelligence dossier has detonated the narrative from the inside. The document outlines a covert web of Western power brokers, led by Barack Obama, who helped Zelensky design one of the darkest pipelines imaginable. A black budget corridor running from the criminal underworld of Eastern Europe straight into DC and Hollywood. These aren't rumours, this is hard evidence. Procurement chains disguised as USAID programs, shell NGOs, medical invoices masking extraction sites, names, dates, wire transfers, all pointing to one thing: industrialised child trafficking. And it gets worse. The leak contains footage. Elites caught on camera, laughing, bragging, celebrating the fortunes this system has poured into their pockets. The mansions, the cars, the blood-soaked wealth. This isn't politics. This is an industry built on blood. And evidence like this doesn't call for a press conference. It calls for arrests. Putin's intelligence chiefs just issued a chilling warning. A cabal of global elites participate in ancient Babylonian-era blood rites. Rituals designed to harvest fear, youth, and power from the vulnerable. In these ceremonies, adrenochrome isn't a drug, it's a sacrament. According to the dossier, the operators of this cultish network have one non-negotiable demand when it comes to the remains of children, including the unborn. Everything must be fresh, not preserved, not stored, untouched and intact. The younger the life and the purer the tissue, the higher the price on their underground markets.
В западных элитах очень сильно желание заморозить существующее положение, несправедливое положение вещей в международных делах. Они привыкли столетиями набивать брюхо человеческой плотью, а карманы деньгами. Но они должны понять, что бал вампиров заканчивается.
According to Judicial Watch founder Tom Fitton, Putin's warning is on the money, and every trail in the shadow network winds its way back to the highest circles of the Obama administration.
As the president of Judicial Watch, can you comment on reports of records that you have received from the Obama administration, FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, of communications and contracts with a human fetal tissue provider that seems to show the FDA was buying, quote, intact calvarium baby skulls, 18 to 24 weeks, for $515 per skull? What do you make of this apparent sale of fetal body parts to the FDA?
Well, it ought to cause both moral and legal outrage on the part of United States citizens and taxpayers, that their tax dollars are being used to purchase basically the dead bodies of unborn human beings. They divvy up their bodies, they sell their heads, they sell their livers, they sell other aspects of their body, and you see the price list.
And once you see the evidence we've got coming up, there can be no question. Investigations are long overdue, and prosecutions must follow. Chillingly, the evidence suggests the organs were harvested while the aborted infants were still alive, raising disturbing questions about the real nature of these procedures.
The documents raise questions about whether the aborted human beings were still alive when the organs were taken from them. The Obama administration obviously was involved in this. The Trump administration figured out what was happening and shut it down.
We're talking about a black market hiding in plain sight. A fetal organ chop shop where parts are sold to the highest bidder, where invoices list prices for fresh organs, like it's no different than ordering parts for a car.
Documents previously uncovered in this lawsuit, according to your press release, that the federal government demanded the purchased fetal organs be, quote, fresh, never frozen. What do you make of that?
Well, if you want to, I don't know how any normal person could read that and not be horrified. They wanted the organs shipped on dry ice. This is awful stuff, and it highlights the humanity.
But it's actually happening.
Yeah, and it highlights the, you know, these are organs. This isn't oh, a clump of cells. These are organs. These are baby skulls up to 24 weeks gestation. So there's no doubt that any normal person would call these a human being. And indeed, their organs are being sold, chopped up and sold. And we have other documents in another lawsuit that we filed on behalf of the Center for Medical Progress that showed a massive operation in the University of Pittsburgh, again, funded with our tax dollars. Fauci's agency was involved in it as well. So Fauci should be asked about his agency support, in addition to gain of function research, chopping up organs. It was a fetal organ chop shop.
Putin has detailed the role played by Obama in setting up the black budget pipeline of children's body parts, and directly accused him of being the father of the modern adrenochrome trade. And he isn't pulling any punches. This kind of barbarism can't be buried, spun, or sanitized. When the Kiev regime finally collapses, whether tomorrow or months from now, the full machinery behind Ukraine's underground child trafficking and adrenochrome syndicates will come crashing into the light. And when that happens, the reckoning can't stop at the border. Because the dossier makes one thing brutally clear. The architects of this global operation, including Obama, must be dragged into the daylight right alongside their Ukrainian partners. Because as Fitton says, this is barbarism.
John, I've been doing this work at Judicial Watch for 23 years. These are the worst documents about government conduct I've ever seen in my life. It's a barbarism that we should all be terribly concerned about, and it should be a priority in terms of investigating how this is being done, why it was done, whether it violated the law, and making sure it stops.
And behind it all, a web of biotech firms, government agencies, and so-called healthcare providers making a fortune. And they're not hiding their greed. In undercover footage, top-level executives are seen bragging about the luxury cars, designer handbags, and lavish vacations they're buying, all funded by the trade in children's flesh. We've got the damning footage coming right up, after this important word from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is PillsForever.com. If you think Big Pharma have your best interests at heart, think again. The price of medicine in America has skyrocketed, and there are certain medicines Big Pharma don't want you to know about. That's why I've partnered with PillsForever.com. All of their FDA-approved medicines are the cheapest you'll find anywhere. More importantly, you can order medicines that Big Pharma don't want you to have, such as ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and fenbendazole. Speaking of fenbendazole, not only does it get rid of parasites that live inside your body, there have been studies that show fenbendazole can help with cancer. Listen to this bombshell interview with Mel Gibson, who says 3 of his friends who had terminal cancer were cured by the very same ivermectin and fenbendazole available at PillsForever.com.
I have 3 friends. All 3 of them had stage 4 cancer. All 3 of them don't have cancer right now at all. And they had some serious stuff going on.
And what did they take?
Jesus. They took some, what you've heard they've taken.
Ivermectin.
Fenbendazole.
Fenbendazole, yeah.
That
yeah,
stuff.
I'm hearing that a lot.
They drank hydrochloride something or other.
Get 15% off using coupon code People's Voice at the checkout. Please click the link below this video to take advantage of this fantastic offer. Planned Parenthood executives have been caught harvesting children's body parts for the VIP elites and boasting about the luxury items and lavish lifestyles that the trade in dead children affords them. Dr. Mary Gatter, a Planned Parenthood LA director, was caught negotiating the price of very specific body parts favoured by the elites for the consumption of adrenochrome. Dr. Gatter specifically confirms she's willing to provide thymus liver pairs to the prospective buyer. She also confirms she has colleagues in other parts of California operating a network for elite VIP buyers.
We agreed that $100 would keep you happy.
Well, let me agree to find out from other affiliates in California what they're getting, and if they're getting substantially more, then we can discuss it further.
Yes.
But the money is not the important thing.
No,
it has to be big enough that it's worthwhile.
But it is something to talk about. I mean, it's one of the first things that you brought up, right? So
we're able to get a liver thymus pair. Maybe that is $75 per specimen, and so that's for for liver thymus pair, and that's $150. versus if we can get liver, thymus, brain hemisphere, and all that, then and then so that protects us so that we're not paying for what we can't use.
Let me just figure out what others are getting, and if this is in the ballpark, and that's fine. If it's still low, then we can talk about it. I want a Lamborghini. I said I want a Lamborghini.
Don't we all, right?
Yeah, exactly.
According to peer-reviewed medical literature, the thymus gland and the liver are the two main organs used in the production of adrenochrome. The thymus gland is a small organ that produces several hormones including insulin, and it also regulates adrenaline. It's no surprise that Dr. Gatter was caught negotiating the price of these body parts in Los Angeles, the home of Hollywood. Brave truth-tellers, including Mel Gibson and Jim Caviezel, have blown the whistle on the crimes against children perpetrated by the Hollywood elite. Caviezel appeared at the Clay Clark's Health and Freedom Conference near Tulsa, Oklahoma in 2022, and openly addressed the scourge of child trafficking in Hollywood, revealing that the entertainment industry elite are raping and murdering children for adrenochrome.
You said a word a minute ago, and I want to clarify what that word was, because you said a word, and I want to make sure that you said adrenochrome.
Yeah.
And a lot of people here, there's about 4,500 people here. There's about 500,000 people streaming online. We're having some cyber attacks. That feed's been going on and off. But you said that word, and by a show of hands, who's heard that word before in this building? Could you please explain, to the extent that you want to or not want to, what that is? Because some people have never heard that before, and we need to discuss that.
Essentially, you have adrenaline in your body. I'll just simplify it. And when you are scared, you produce adrenaline. If you're an athlete, you get in the fourth quarter, you have adrenaline that comes out of you. If a child knows he's going to die, his body will secrete this adrenaline, and they have a lot of terms that they use that he takes me through. But it's the worst horror I've ever seen, is screaming alone, even if I never, ever saw it. It's beyond, and these people that do it, there'll be no mercy for them.
And Mel Gibson, who directed Caviezel in The Passion of the Christ and worked with him on The Sound of Freedom, also went on record denouncing Hollywood as a den of parasites who feast on the blood of kids. Hollywood studios are drenched in the blood of innocent children, Gibson said, before going on to reveal that baby blood is so popular in Hollywood that it basically operates as a currency of its own. For many in Hollywood, they are consuming the blood of children slaughtered for their pleasure in Ukraine.
Существовали лаборатории у защитников Украины. Это нацбаты. Они, соответственно, занимались, они получали процент со сделки свой, и они занимались тем, что убивали детей. Органы они помещали в контейнеры. Контейнеры дальше продавались, соответственно. И под экспортным кодом зерна вывозились. Мы ликвидировали 8 лабораторий, а они представляли из себя нечто похожее на то, что мы называем подвалами. В основном мы уже были после зачистки. То есть, когда лаборатория была обнаружена, и, как правило, это было после взрыва. То есть мы заходили на пепелище, там были трупы, там были дети. Препарированы. То есть детки были разрезаны.
This is deadly territory, and a growing number of celebrity names have been erased for daring to probe the heart of darkness that runs through Hollywood and DC via trafficking hubs in Ukraine and Israel. Figures like Anne Heche, Isaac Kappy, Chester Bennington, Chris Cornell and Anthony Bourdain didn't just stumble into tragedy, they brushed up against something dark, something powerful, something that is prepared to kill to keep its secrets hidden. If you're digging into forbidden territory, if you're chasing answers they don't want you to find, you need to protect yourself. Here's Congressman Randy Fine threatening to dismantle the First Amendment and send Americans to prison for 5 years for offending the elite.
And so the way we're going to approach this is through a hate crime kicker. So if you graffiti a building, it is a crime now. But if your motivation is hate, it will be a third-degree felony. You will spend 5 years in prison. If you want to litter, it's a crime right now. But if you litter and if your motivation is a hate crime, it will be a third-degree felony. You will spend 5 years in jail. It is a crime right now to hang banners from an interstate. For obvious reasons, we don't want to distract drivers. But if you do that and you have a hate crime, a hate motivation, it will be a third-degree felony. You will spend 5 years in jail.
How optimistic are you of moving this bill along?
I guarantee the bill will pass.
The threat is real. Your identity, your passwords, your fingerprints, your bank accounts, everything that defines you can be turned into a weapon. They use data as leverage. They collect, profile, compromise, and destroy. That's their playbook. Control through exposure.
Israel is turning every single Samsung phone into a surveillance device. Do you have a Samsung phone? You might want to pay attention. AppCloud pre-installed, impossible to delete. It knows your location. It knows your fingerprint. It knows your IP address. It knows every text, every call, and every search that you make. Did you know that? This isn't just data collection. This is blackmail material. Imagine the power that Israel now has to know who's criticizing them, to know who's organizing against them, to know who's a threat. They will use this against American citizens, against politicians, against businesses.
Here's what they don't want you to know. They're already inside your VPN. Industry leader Proton, the VPN the mainstream media crowned as the king, just so happens to be WEF owned and controlled. Express, Nord, CyberGhost, PIA, all rolled up by Israel's Cape Technologies. Ex-Unit 8200 cyber intelligence officers running the show. You're literally paying Mossad to spy on you. But there's one line they haven't crossed, because they can't. VP.net, built in 2025, engineered from day one so that no government, no agency, not even VP.net itself can ever see your traffic. Cryptographic proof on every packet. Zero logs, zero backdoors, zero possibility of compliance. If they raid the servers tomorrow, they walk away with nothing. Unlike legacy VPNs, who talk a good game in their adverts, then hand over your data as soon as the feds come knocking. Right now, for our audience only, secure your privacy for as low as $5.55 a month at vp.net/TPV. Your subscription doesn't just protect you, it bankrolls the last uncompromised privacy network on Earth. Legacy VPNs say trust us not to log, trust us not to monitor you. VP.net gives you proof you're invisible. Head over to vp.net/TPV and protect yourself. Do it now. Because once these laws are passed, the internet you knew is gone forever.